I feel good. I just feel happy or something. I don't know. I feel like laughing sometimes. Sometimes when it's good and they get singing them songs, sometimes all I can do is cry. Other times I just want to laugh. I don't know. I just feel like laughing. It just feels good. I got a little confession to make though. You know, they sing them songs and everybody's different. They got their things they do and ways they are and all this and that. And some of you, you know, I don't know what you do while they're singing, and it's good, and man, you can just feel the presence of God. It's just really good. And some people may be closing their eyes and imagine they're running on the beach in heaven or something. I don't know what everybody does, but she sang that song about I am free, you know, and talking about she told us the song I'm going to play. You got to have a song for your finale, you know. Those of you who don't know about my boy, that's my Mustang, and going September had this big deal. So anyway, that's the song I'm going to sing. So while you all were off in heaven somewhere, man, I have to just admit to you, I was, oh my boy, where is he? And now y'all are laughing, so it's good. That's where I was at. I mean, that big arena in Fort Worth, Texas, it's huge. You barely can't even see across the whole thing. Boy, I was going fast as I could go across that. It's all right to laugh. Oh man, it's good. Laughter. I think it's in the Bible. Does the Bible say laughter is good medicine? Yeah, that ain't just one of them things that we thought was in the Bible. Oh, that's really in there. Joy, I think it's called. Fruit of the Spirit is joy. You know, I want to read you one of my favorites. This is one of my first ones that I really started seeing when God started showing me what grace really was. I love this song about being free. It has something to do with that Mustang. It does something about being free and freedom and all that. It's 4th of July and all that. I love all that, but I've sang in my whole life about them songs that sings about being free. But only until I really got the revelation of grace, what grace really is, that I really know what free was. See, I sang about being free, and I was even missing hell and going to make heaven one day, but I really didn't know what free was. Only until I really found out how much He loved me, really found out what the grace of God is, then I really became free. I was bound up and wore out by religion. And so this is one of the very first verses that really started working on me, and I just love it. It's one of my favorites, and you all have heard it before. You've heard me talk about it before, but I need reminded, and I ain't over it yet, and so I just keep going back to it. So it just goes right along with the way I feel, so it's just good. I get to, well, let me read this because you'll get me wound up and then it's Matthew 11. Matthew 11, verse 28. And it's written in red. You know what that means, don't you? It's written in red. It's Jesus talking. And He says, "Come to me, all who are weary and heavy laden, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you and learn from me, for I am gentle." He's gentle and humble in heart, and you will find rest for your souls. For my yoke is easy and my burden is light. Man, I like that. You know, it said He's gentle. I didn't grow up thinking He was gentle. I grew up thinking He was mean and mad at me. And if I got too far out of line, He'd break my leg or give me cancer or something. This says He's gentle. I'm convinced where He says, "Come to me," if we really had a right opinion of who He really is and what He's really like, everybody would come to Him. So we formed our opinions looking at religious people or listening to them old law preachers that Elvis talked about, try to shame you into this and scare you into that. I'm going to tell you something. The love of God is way more powerful and way more motivating than the fear of the devil. Yeah. And so He's good. He's just good. And if we would get a true vision of Him, or a real opinion of who He really is, you couldn't help it. You'd fall over yourself coming to Him. I'm convinced. Anyway, it says, I'm going to tell you about, I'm going to try not to talk about horses too much, but I can't help it because that's what He uses to teach you. And so He'll always use something you know to teach you about what you don't know. And so I get to train horses for a living. Most of you know that. And along with training horses, I got to train people. That's the hard part. Horses are the easy part. So I get these horses trained, but then I got to teach these people how to ride these horses. And so kids, they're pretty well easy. Kids just do it and all. But then there comes these adults that have kind of they had a horse when they were a kid, and they think they know how to ride. They went their whole life, and now all of a sudden they're kind of getting older and slowing down. And so now they want to get back to that, and they're going to retire, and they're going to get back into this. See, and so this is my job to teach them how to ride their horse, even though they already think they know how to ride their horse, and they don't. And so this is what I do. And so it's pretty comical, and it can be fun, and it can be, and so anyway, that's what I do. And so the whole thing is about relationships, and it's about causes and effects. And so the Lord teaches me so much stuff about myself through that. And so I get to teach these lessons. What we do is cutting horses, and so these horses work cattle. And so not only am I teaching these people who think they know how to ride but don't, how to ride, but I'm also trying to teach them how to let their horse work cattle and handle cattle and all this. And so now it's even more of a fiasco. And so what happens is here they come and they think, oh, I'm going to ride a cutting horse, and they're excited. And so they realize they don't know nothing about cattle and cutting horses and all that. So I put them on that horse, and I'd say, you just point, I'll pretty much cut the cow out for them. See, cutting is you cut a cow out away from the herd. The cow tries to get back to its buddies, and your horse keeps the cow separated. I mean, whatever the cow does, the horse does. That horse is trained, don't let that cow get back with his buddies. And so it's like cat and mouse. I mean, here they go. And so the first time, these people, they know they don't know nothing, and so they're scared to pieces, and they're holding on for dear life, and they just thinking, I just got to hold on and stay with this horse. And so horse is going 9-0 back and forth, and cow, and their hearts are racing, and it's like adrenaline, and it's the most scariest and the most thrilling thing they ever had, and they're hooked. And it's like, this is the greatest thing ever. And so they keep coming back, and I mean, they'll spend their last dollar doing this. And so here they come, and they keep coming back, and finally they're getting a little more comfortable, and they're doing a little better, you know. And so now they're getting to learn some, and they're getting involved in it, and they're getting it kind of figured out. So the more they get figured out, the more they think, now, okay, now I'm going to start helping my horse some. And so now here we're going, the cow's going that way and the horse is going to go that way, so I'm going to help my horse get over there. I might kick him a little bit, and my timing's not right, and I kicked at the wrong time. The horse was supposed to stop. Now he's going, and the cow goes the other way. Oh, now I'm behind, I got to kick some more, and I run him past the cow, and uh-oh, it's went to pieces. It's helter-skelter. It's the cow's going one way, the horse is going the other. The horse is confused, I'm confused, and then everything's went to... And here's what I'm over in the corner, and I hear myself saying this. Easy. Easy. Yeah, you're getting involved, you're asking this, and you're doing, and you're kicking, and you're squeezing, and you're getting it easy. You think you know too much. Go back to trust in your horse and let him do what he's designed to do. You're getting involved. You're getting in the way. Yeah, I know you think you know something. I know you think you've been at this a while and you're getting all this figured out. But the trick is to rest. Easy. Everybody say, easy. That's what I got today. That's what I feel like. I feel because I've been thinking about this all day. Easy. Hey, that old horse is trained. He said, I got this. You enjoy the ride. Hmm? Yes. Well, I found myself the same way. See, Jesus said, come to me, all you who are labor, heavy laden. He's not talking to hay haulers. He's not talking to ditch diggers. He's talking to people that are driving themselves nuts to try to please a God that's already pleased.
Amen.
He's talking to religious people that are spending everything they have, every bit of their effort, every bit of their time, every bit of everything that they've got, trying to figure out some way. I got to do this right. I got to do that. They are exhausting themselves trying to live up to a standard to please God. They really want to please God. They want to be right with God. But it's an impossible task. If you're going to try to do it on your own, out of your own self-effort, it's impossible. If you're going to live like these Pharisees were living, they were living under the law. If you're going to live under the law, it's impossible. I heard Elvis say before, it's hard to live a Christian life. No, it ain't. It's impossible. You might as well give up on it. You might as well let the horse do the work, because when you get involved, you mess it up. Easy. See, I started learning this. I started learning what faith was. See, once I got on this grace road, I went my whole life. I was in church 3 times a week, and I didn't understand what grace was. Then when I understood what grace was, it set me free. Grace, to me, is the revelation of what the new covenant is. You know, most people sitting in church can't even tell you the difference between the old covenant and the new covenant. I couldn't. That means when you got born again, you entered into a new agreement with God, new covenant. You're no longer under the old covenant. You were really never under the old covenant anyway, unless you're a Jew. The old covenant said you got to meet a certain standard in order to be blessed by God. And so we wore ourselves out. We went to church 3 times a week. We dressed like they said to dress. We did what they said to do. We didn't go where they said to not go. We did it. We tried our very hardest. And when we get close, they'd raise the bar. And so somehow in the mix of all that, you find yourself getting into a place where I just got to try to pretend or survive or what. I don't know. I'm just exhausted. And I sing these songs, but it ain't really real to me. And I know they sing about being free. I know they sing about peace, and we talk about that. We quote verses about all that, but it ain't really real to me. I'm wore out and tired. And the grace revelation came to me. It's what I needed. It's what I needed because I was tired. I found out that He loves me unconditionally. And when I got born again, I'm no longer under the law. I no longer have to meet the standard. He met the standard for me and then gave me that gift. Now I'm in a new covenant with God that says it's not about my performance. It's not about me meeting a standard. It's about Him loving me and receiving from Him and walking with Him and talking with Him and being with Him. And Sarah said in Romans 8, nothing can separate me. Knowing that empowers me to live in the things that I used to try to live in. Now He does it. He does it in me. It's His strength. And so I started living in that. I started finding out who I am. You know what I was thinking about it today? This is just a side note, okay? I was thinking about this because this is powerful. It's powerful knowing how much He loves you. I'm talking about God. It is powerful knowing how much God loves you. You. Don't say, oh, I know He loves all. You, personally. I thought about it like this. He would rather come to earth as a man and die than live without you. He would rather, I'm talking about God. God. The unexplainable. The Most High. I'm talking about God. God who stepped out on nothing and spoke to darkness and all this showed up. God would rather come and be a man and die than live without you. Man, that gives me the chills. Huh? That will change your life. That will empower you to do more than fear will. The power of God is greater than the power of the devil. Wouldn't you like to believe that? Wouldn't you like to just start believing that? I want to. I want to wake up every day thinking that God is bigger than the devil. That I'm a son of God and that my day ought to go the way He thinks it ought to go. That I ought to win more than I ought to lose. Wouldn't it be something if God was stronger than the devil?
Yes.
He is? Huh. I heard this one. Oh, I'm going to get to it. I started down this grace road, and when I got down on this grace road, you all know what I'm talking about. Most of you do. If you ain't, stick with me. We'll get there. And this grace road led me. I realized I've been in church my whole life. I didn't really understand what grace was. Oh, because I'd mixed it. I'd mixed the two. Oh, yeah, you can get saved by grace, but then you got to live under the law. Oh, grace will help you live under the law. Mixture. When you mix the two, you dilute both of them, and both of them are... And so anyway, on that grace road, I found out I didn't know what grace was my whole life. Then I realized when I got on that grace road, He started showing me I didn't really know what faith was my whole life. Faith. Faith is believing something that you can't prove. Believing something that you can't see. That means that that's it. I heard it like this. I like this one. This is simple. It says, faith is acting like the Bible's true. Faith is acting like the Bible's true. Now the Bible is true, isn't it? But what we see and what we experience might not line up with this. And so there's the dilemma. Am I going to believe that the Bible's true? Or am I going to believe what I see and experience is true? There's the dilemma. There's the dilemma. That's where we're at. I've decided. See, this is what grace done to me. I've decided that this is true. And then also I've decided, I said, Lord, because of my inadequacy and because of me, I'm just me, you know me, I can't do nothing. The more I learn about Him, and the more I realize that I give up on me. I give up on me. I can't even, okay, now He shows me this. Now I say, okay, you showed me, now I can do it. No, I still can't do it. And so I say, all right, I love this grace and I love this faith, but now, Lord, here's what I'm going to do. Here, y'all better go get ready. I'm going to try to tie all this together somehow. Here's what I do. Lord, I believe this. I want to believe it. Is it all right to say that? Is any real folks in here? Is it all right to say, you know what, I read it in here and okay, I've said I believed it, but now I really want to believe it. I know I'm the one standing here and y'all think I know something, but I'm going to be the one to say, you know what, I want to believe everything in here, but let's just be honest. Do I? Am I there yet? No. And so I say, Lord, this is me. I said over on the rocking tree on the porch, this is me and God. He said out there, and I said, you know, Lord, you know me. I want this. You're going to have to do it, isn't you? You're going to have to do it. Even though I want to. Even though I see it in there and I want to believe it, and I do believe it as much as I know how to, you're going to have to make it real to me. When He makes it real to you. When He makes it real to you. There'll be no religious mean preacher of the law can shake you. There'll be no devil from hell can shake you. There'll be nobody that can talk you out of it. There'll be... He's got this. We think we get up on, oh, we've been in church, oh, we've been this, oh, we're a preacher, oh, we're this, oh, we're that. We think we know something. We think, oh, well, we've been at this so long now, we ought to be looking like something. Easy. He's got this. Are you big enough in your seat to say, Lord, no, I ain't as far along as I think I am. I want this. I want to believe this. But you're going to have to do it in me. I want it. Does anybody here want it? If you really see who He really is and what He's really like, you want it. I promise you. And I've took it on myself. It's my lifelong goal now. All I want to do is I want to reveal who He really is and what He's really like. That's all I want. I want you to come in here and think, not you because you've been in here, but I want people to come in here that are broken and hurt and messed up by the world or messed up by church and messed up by religion, thinking God's mad at them, and just hear us sing in here and break open a little bit of this and say, hey, this is who God really is. God really does love you. God really does care for you. God really does want you to win. God really does want... This is the gospel now. I'm telling you what the gospel is. Part of the gospel is Jesus came to give you rest.
Right.
I don't know about you, if you admit it or not, but if you think about it long enough, there's something you need rest from. He's talking about religion. He's talking about rest from trying to make it to heaven by what you do. Working at your behavior. Trying to become something that He says you're supposed to become out of your own effort. That's what He's talking about, rest. Anybody tired of that?
Amen.
He said, come unto me all who labor and heavy burden. You might need rest from carrying a burden. That's why I love this. There's just sometimes you go through burden. Hey, I believe in this, and I believe in the grace of God, and I believe we always win. I'm not going to quit believing that, but it don't mean we won't go through a battle. It just means we're going to win, but there might be a day that the toughest battle, you might be, that's how I love this, you might be in a battle, you might be in a burden, you might be carrying something heavy. At least come in here for an hour, lay that thing down, be set in His presence. Let us help carry it. Rest. That's trust, really. One thing I love about riding that cutting horse, when you hold your reins up, you're driving, you're riding, you're guiding. You got to cut the cow. You got to tell the horse which one we're going to cut. We're going to separate. You're driving. You're in control. You got your hand up. You're using the reins. But when you get that cow separated, you drop your reins. And you put your hand on that horse's neck, and that's like saying, you got it, buddy. It's all yours. That's what I want. I want to drop my hand and say, easy.
Easy.
Hey, everybody say, easy. It's all right, ain't it? It's all right, ain't it? Hey, can you just feel it? I know what you might be going through. I don't know everybody's situations, but just for a minute at least. Just for a minute. Just... Good, huh? All right, I was just kidding about a minute. Do it for a long time. At least I'll leave. It's all right, ain't it? Easy. I'll tell you one more thing then real quick. Just because I just feel like this. It's all right. I know, you're supposed to be a preacher, you're supposed to be spiritual and all this and that, but I already what I vision of all these worshiping, so my cover's already blown. And so I know you're supposed to be all spiritual and all this and that and everything. And I thought, you know what, I got ready over there and I was, like Elvis said, I was waiting on the girls, and so I was just sitting out in my rocking chair. I like to sit out on the porch in my rocking chair. That's my place. And so I thought, I'm going to go out there and sit and get ready for tonight, And so I went and so I'm going to get me a drink. And I don't really drink soda anymore. I just don't drink soda anymore. And so I went in there, I thought, I'm going to get me a drink, sit on the rocking chair. And so I went in there and opened the refrigerator, and there was a nice Coca-Cola. And that looks good. So I got that Coca-Cola, And I went out on the porch in the rocking chair and I sat there. Now I'm supposed to be fasting and praying. And I mean, I'm the preacher. I'm real spiritual. I'm getting all prayed up ready, you know. Set that Bible on the side there. Sat in my rocking chair and drank me a cup. Hey, I sat there, me and God, on the rocking chair and drank me a cup. And you know what? You know what I said? It is all right. Here's what I want you to do. Everybody say, it is all right. You ain't got to be uptight. You ain't got to be uptight. It's all right. Rest. Relax. Easy. All right?